Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hustle Hard Radio, coming to you live from WDRB Media out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We are so excited to be here with you guys again, bringing you gems, information, financial literacy to help you guys along the way to open that new business, to buy that first house, to invest in that first property or that second property. We have one of our great guests that's back with us again. We are so excited. And I think in the new year, we're going to probably do a series together. She doesn't know that, but I'm just saying that. We're so happy to have Miss June here with us today. Simba, she's going to be giving you guys some gems right before the new year that can benefit you guys and your families, helping you save more money, talking about possibly some investment policy and also maybe some taxing things. I don't know. I'm going to let her share that. But before we dive into that, we just want to give a shout out and tell some of you guys what we really do here at Hustle Hard Radio. Hustle Hard Radio is a part of Positive Thoughts LLC, and also a combination of Money Matters Incorporated. We're so excited. Today was a great day. I launched live our website for Money Matters Incorporated, which is now a nonprofit organization that can help more kids doing what we do here live on the radio station, saving lives, talking about finances, breaking some of those generational curses, learning how to budget, learning how to invest, learning how to open their own business. And we not only do we plan to do that in the RTP area, but I want to go nationally and help those families and help those kids make a difference in their lives and impact our community. So we are so excited about that. If you want to follow me, you can definitely go to Remisha J. That's REMISHAJ. That's my personal information. So you can find more about me. And you can find a little bit about our organization too. If you want to find more about Money Matters and what we're doing for the community, it's Money Matters with the S, but you will see the dollar sign in other places. Incorporated, MONEYMATTERSINC. Follow us, like us, follow our content, join in on our show for each week, because we're going to be sharing details, like I said, about money, also about health and wealth, because we know your health is your wealth as well. So we talk everything about mental health, making sure you create a balanced life. That's enough about your girl, Remisha J. I'm excited to dive in because I know she's going to give us these gems. June Simba has been very supportive of Money Matters Incorporated. She's been supportive of Exquisite Experience. She's been supportive of us just in general. So we look forward to her sharing these gems and hopefully in the future too. Good evening, June. Good evening. Good evening. How you doing?
Simba-Jones, congratulations. I see that you are accomplishing one thing after another. And here comes another nonprofit that is formally launched, fully formally launched. So just one more thing to add to your millions of things that you're doing all at one time. My name's June Simba-Jones. I work for Equity Smart, which is a real estate lender across the country. I also represent UWM, which has become the #1 lender in the country and closely becoming the #1 financial real estate lender in the world. So it just became #1 in the country and beat out Rocket Mortgage last month, which I was excited about that because, for a lot of reasons, we won't get into that, but you can find me if anyone is to have any questions after this talk. I know it's going to be short, at June S, JUNES at EquitySmartLoans.com. And I just wanted to take a little bit of Remisha's time today to just talk about some things that might be very, very life-changing and game-changing for a lot of families or individuals financially before the end of this year.
Where can we find you on social media before we do that as well, so they can find you, because some people may not get that email. We want to make sure they know where.
I am I am so off of social media. I have social media accounts and I have somebody else working on them
Managing
right
them.
now that I don't even remember what they are because I just forget to check them. I avoid Facebook, I avoid Instagram
Oh my
just
God.
because I'm not used to using it and I'm not good
Okay.
at using it.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, we'll put them at the bottom or the description box. But if you look for June Grace Simba-Jones,
That's
I'll
right.
come up on both.
And
Um,
spell that for them, please, again.
June, like the month, Grace,
Mhm.
Grace, Simba, like the Lion King, and Jones, Jones. We have the same last names.
We do. I
And
realize
I'm
that before.
wondering if
No
there's
wondering.
something behind that, but
Yeah.
we'll
We'll
uh,
figure
we'll
it out.
find that on
She's
Answer.
my first cousin.
Right, right. So jumping right into it, Ramisha, is there any particular area you want me to come from? I have some tax tips. I have some just business ownership tips. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
do
I
you
would
just
say let's dive right in because it is dealing with tax season as an investor. Kind of recap, give us a small recap of some things you've covered before. Well, it's no recap because they can tune in and listen to that later.
yeah,
Let's
I get
start. If you
I
want
get
to do a recap, you can just quickly, but then talk to us about taxing because we are going into tax season
Okay,
and some
okay.
recommendations.
So I'll get straight into it. I'm a mortgage loan specialist and officer. So that's my area of expertise. Also been a business owner for a long, long time. So
Hmm.
the tax and the business advice is not legal advice. I would tell you to please confirm everything I'm saying with your tax professional. I'm giving you tips on this particular show. I'm giving you tips that I personally use that I have helped my family and friends use. They are formal tax codes. So this is not some cute, exciting info that I got on social media. Again, these are tax codes
Okay.
and these are legal um, pieces of information. But like I said, I am not a tax lawyer. I am not a tax professional by profession. I'm just
Absolutely.
sharing some practical things that we use. Um,
Absolutely.
and the first one, which is the most time sensitive, is if you have bought a vehicle or a piece of machinery, a computer, um, an inanimate object that you use for business, your business
Hmm.
entity, um, you can use something that is called bonus depreciation,
Hmm.
um, which means that if you went and bought a car this year, or a truck, or a trailer, or a computer, you can use this. It's IRS code section 168K, and it's called bonus depreciation, where you can write off 100% of that cost.
Okay, absolutely. June, is that the one that they're talking about? The 6,000 pounds or something like that?
There is
Thousand?
so if it's 8,000 pounds, it gives you it takes the amount higher of
Hmm.
what you can write off. That's why when Trump went into office and then he changed the tax laws, you saw a whole bunch of people go out and buy these big F-150s or big 250 trucks because they
Gotcha.
literally bought them and paid off the whole retail cost that year. And that
Mm,
gives you the 100% write-off deduction. So you can
wow,
imagine how how much you're saving um, in 1 year off of
absolutely.
tax. So that's a big one. Again, tax code section 168K, bonus depreciation. Now, do you have any questions on that one before?
Well, like I said, that was the one I was making sure because I've never, you see things on social media, you guys. Just like June said, do your research, but everything that you hear, sometimes take heed to it. Don't always think it's a trick. Dive in and go to the banks and ask questions about it because it
Mhm.
could possibly benefit you in your business.
Right.
I've been
Yeah,
writing off things for a while. I didn't know about the details about the pounds and all of that. I think up until maybe this year, I didn't know that was so much a part of the thing because I'm not the one doing my taxes. I just know she always asks that. So thank you for sharing that with us. But
yeah.
take heed and get the
So to
information.
clarify, if the vehicle you bought weighs more than 8,000 pounds, it's an easy 100% write-off. If you bought a smaller vehicle, you may have to you may not get the full amount that you paid for it, but you'll get very, very close to it.
Gotcha.
Um,
What kind
you
of
may
cars weigh about that much? I never thought a car could weigh a lot. I know it's tons.
Most cars do weigh more than 8,000 pounds unless you have like a little I'm thinking a Prius is a little bit under, uh,
Yeah.
but most medium sized to large vehicles
Okay.
do weigh that or do qualify for that 100%. Um, but the 100% bonus depreciation benefit was probably going to go down to 80% after the end of this year.
Oh
So that's
wow.
why it's
Mm.
time sensitive.
Go ahead by the end of the year, you guys. If you got that vehicle you're already using and you need transportation for your business, invest. Think smart and give it to your CPA and make sure they give you credit for it and you talk about it. And your CPA should be having this conversation that we're having with you too.
Well, that's the thing.
Mm.
So there's a difference between a tax preparer and a
Mm.
tax planner, right?
Yeah.
So a preparer is just pushing numbers of people in and
Mm-hmm.
out. That you bring your taxes, you pretty much have to know what you want and ask for and demand. Otherwise, they're preparing your taxes at the bare minimum, not all of them, but the
Mm-hmm.
majority, right?
Yeah.
Because they're getting paid per fee.
Mm.
They're getting paid for the number of people that they can get their taxes done.
Mm.
A tax planner lets you know these things and they let you know these things at the beginning of the year so that you
Mm.
can plan your taxes. So you
Right.
can know what to do, what not to do, and what
Mm.
all your possibilities are.
Gotcha. Wow. That's deep. I
And
never
if
had anyone
you
break that
want
down
to
like that.
go another step further than that,
Mm-hmm.
is get to know a what do you call it? An IRS tax agent,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're there and
Mm-hmm.
they have a lot of tips
Knowledge.
and
Mm-hmm.
knowledge that a lot of other tax
Absolutely. May
professionals
not have.
don't.
It's funny that you mentioned that too, June. Actually, guys, check into it online. There are some online courses that some of the retired IRS experts have, and they'll break pretty much they're breaking the codes for you. I think I have a group in CREA, you guys, if you don't know, in your local company, I mean your local area, whether it's North Carolina, wherever you have these real estate investor groups, they usually have tax experts, and some of them are retired IRS people. They come in and do workshops. Take heed of
That's
that
right.
information that they're given.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Um, so now the next one that I did want to bring up is if you have if you have kids uh above the age of 10, kids that can do work, kids that are old enough to do this, and then kids that are under 18, sometimes 21, depending on the job. Um, I think it's 21 for the majority. Hire them,
You can pay them.
hire
Mhm.
your kids
Yeah.
because you can pay them. I think this year it's
Yeah,
like
10,000 or 12,000.
12,900. Um, that's a write-off deduction for you, and it's tax-free on their side, on their end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another big one. We've been hearing this. If you're out here in these streets like we are, June, I absolutely love. I don't have any kids right now that I could pay, but you better believe when I do, they're gonna be working and taking advantage
Right,
of this and
right.
doing. June, do
And
you know if there's a cap on this? Let's say if people have 4 kids, because I notice a lot of businesses, they have several kids that are helping them in business. Do they put a limit on this?
that's a
Like
good
how many kids?
question.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
remember because that does also change.
Mhm.
I know you can definitely do two, but I'm not sure
Gotcha.
what is. That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna find out, you listeners, because I know some people don't have just one kid, have multi-family.
Right,
So you
right.
want to be able to maximize if you are, and if they put a cap on it, then you want to know just so you don't have them coming back auditing you either. So
And even if the kids are over 21, there's still a lot of benefits, but you do have to pay something towards Social Security and those types of things. So
okay.
don't let
That's
the
good.
age of 18, 21 stop you. Or,
Mhm.
and then the other thing is, you do have to do a uh,
W-2.
W-2 for them. Yeah.
So
And
you
then
can't do a 1099? I guess a 1099.
I-9. No, I think they have to actually be employees as opposed to
Mm,
a contractor.
okay. Yeah, because I think their stipulation with 1099 is that you're supposed to be 18 or 21. It makes sense to be a contract. I think that's the rule. I need to know that because I mean 1099 a whole lot of people. A W-2 form. You guys take notes because I'm taking notes. I'm learning as you're learning all together, different aspect gems to help you because tax time is right around the corner. We only have really about 4 weeks, well, 3 weeks before the year is over, and then tax time starts. They send them out around January, correct? January 15th,
Right,
if they
right,
haven't pushed it up any. And you guys can be ready. You don't have to get ready, you already be ready.
right, right, right.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
What else you
Yes.
got for us,
The
June? I know
other
you have some
thing,
short tricks.
and some of you, I'm sure you already know this, but I'm always surprised at how many people may know this and may not know it and just aren't doing it. I
Mhm,
think it's intimidating. It's the intimidation of filing or changing or understanding business structures. Most people
mhm,
have an LLC, right? When they
mhm,
have an entity, I think that's one of the most
mhm.
common
It is.
entities.
Mhm,
And the thing is, when it comes to filing your taxes, if you have an LLC and then you're filing um, as an LLC, filing your taxes as an LLC, you are going to be charged 15%, at least around 15% of all of your profit, your income,
mhm.
your, that you've netted that year. But if you have an LLC, you can actually file as an S corp. You can file your taxes as an S corp, even if you
Mhm.
are an LLC. And what that does is it allows you to only pay taxes on the income that you
Oh,
give yourself.
okay. Pay taxes on and only on what you give yourself. Now
The
explain that
income
with
that you
the S
pay
part.
yourself. So if
Isn't that
you,
sole proprietor? Break that down for people so people know what that is. Because I
an
don't
S,
know. I always get it confused.
no, no, it's different. It's a type of corporation, but it's, it's, I forget what the S is for. I have so
Isn't
many
that
acronyms.
sole proprietorship?
Let me tell you,
It's
because
sole proprietor, if I'm not mistaken.
you might be right.
But it always confuses me with C Corp, even though my accountant does a great job. Shout out to Williams Tax Accounting in Durham, North Carolina. They're doing everything they can for small businesses and individuals. But I get very confused. I know it's something about the taxes um, and the amount, the difference between the S Corp and the C Corp, and what you can write off and ensuring that you're in that
So
bracket and how much you're
I
making.
know the sole proprietorship is not the same thing as an S corp.
Okay.
Um, I don't remember what the S stands for in the S corp, but a
Hmm.
sole proprietorship is a different structure. But it's similar. right?
Okay.
And basically what an S corp is, it's a pass through structuring.
Mm-hmm.
um we can't, let's not go into detail about what pass through fully means, but in general it allows you to pass through a lot, including a lot of income. So if you generate, if you profit $100,000 from your business
Mm-hmm.
this year, it allows you to pass through any the rest of that income other than what you pay yourself. So if you made 100,000 but you only paid yourself 30, then you will be taxed at that 30,000 income.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So that's another big thing to do. You know, if you're an LLC, there's no need to pay more taxes than a lot of other people who are doing the same thing as you, just because you don't have that little bit of knowledge of how to actually structure your filings.
And believe it or not, there's so many small businesses that I talk to, people that just started maybe this year or a few years. They are intimidated by taxes. They have this conversation, oh, I just let my cousin do it for me. Oh, or I do it myself through TurboTax. TurboTax is okay for beginners and they do have the business plan you're paying, but they don't have all the features that a CPA, if you ask me, has, and all those tax codes. They're going to make you pay a premium amount just to get premium resources that you can use.
Right,
So
right, right.
make sure you're maximizing what
That's
you should
right.
be
That
having.
is right.
You got to spend money to make money, June. Sometimes we want to go to
Yes, you just have to know how to spend it. You know,
yeah.
you can't be cheap in the wrong things and then splurge in the I mean, you know, you can't be cheap in the right things and then splurge in the wrong things. So yes, I
Absolutely.
absolutely agree. You know,
It
and the
hurts
more
you in the
we
long
know,
run.
hopefully the better we do.
Yeah, we want to make sure
Um,
people are educated and make educated decisions because these tax cuts, I'm telling people, some people are paying taxes and hurting themselves on things legally that they don't really have to,
you
but
don't
it's
have
because
to.
they don't have the knowledge and they
Right,
don't have the bandwidth and they're not asking the right questions and they're not going to right places. Like
right.
everybody that does taxes, like she said, is not a really taxer. They're just doing tax prepare. It's a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
The devil is definitely in the details.
Yeah.
Um, you know.
Do we
Uh,
have any additional things
yeah.
you have?
So along what we're just talking about, you know, spending your money wisely, and
Mhm.
um, it takes money to make money. That's for sure the truth.
Yeah.
Um, every nobody started with off with a lot of money.
Right.
Everybody started off with either nothing or a little bit, and then created whatever it is they created or not. Um, so I would say one of the things to invest in is not Black Friday stuff, you know. It's not stuff that, you know, I mean, there we should, as a community, we need to stop a lot of patterns and a lot of habits.
Mhm.
Um, because you have people who are very cheap when it comes to useless things, things that don't
Right.
give you a return, but then they will put money into talking to a real estate attorney, you know,
Mhm.
beyond a realtor. You
Mhm.
know, when you get there's so many different attorneys that specialize in different areas. I'll give you an example
Mhm.
as to how this can make a big difference. You can have a plot of land, right?
Mhm.
I can have a plot of land and I sell my plot of land to a developer
Yeah.
and I make a little bit of money. You know, we sign contracts,
Yeah.
the sales close, we walk away. You may have reached out to a life or deed or an estate planning attorney or a real
Mhm.
estate attorney and said, hey, can you help me structure this sale? How
Mhm.
can I structure the sale in the most lucrative wealth building way? There
Mhm.
are wealth building attorneys,
Mm.
and this attorney can tell you, do you know that you can structure a sales contract any way you want to?
Nice.
And you say, well, hey, what does that mean? And they
Mhm.
say, well, instead of just selling the land, closing a deal, making one sale, getting paid one time, and walking away, why don't you structure it to where you will make money off of that land that you sold for the rest of your life through um, appreciation?
Mhm. Absolutely. Okay. Now explain that for us. Break this down for your dummies, real estate dummies. This is me too, because I have no idea what that means. I think I have an idea what that means. As it increases, the value of that property grows. But how do we do that? Talk to me,
Royalties.
June.
You know about royalties, right?
Yeah, yeah, getting
So
money.
why can there not be royalties on land?
Mm. They
If you
do it a
have
lot in mobile homes too, don't they?
how what do you
On the lots that they have. Some
Mhm.
people never sell the lots. They sell the property, but if the person wants to keep it there, they always rent that lot.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's one way to do it. Um, yeah, that's definitely one
So
way to.
how do we get royalties on land? Tell me, talk to me.
There
Give me
is not,
structure and thing.
there's not just one way. There's not one way. You can sell your piece of land to a developer and say, um, I want a percentage of this appreciating value for the rest of my life or whatever time frame you specify. So each year, as this asset or commodity appreciates, I want a percentage of it.
Wow. You know what? You just gave a gem. That's power. That's a life change. No one explained that to me. Just learned something tonight, you listeners. No one knows it all. That's a gem. And she said it several ways. Give us
Because
another
and
way.
and
Judy, Judy, break this
that's
down.
just one way. And again, I'm not a real estate attorney. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not a life estate attorney. I'm not a wealth building attorney. So I just gave a very simplistic concept,
Mm.
right? But there's a
Okay.
million ways that you can do contracts.
Yeah,
A million ways. It's not just because the people you know or what you know has always been done one way doesn't mean that's where you stop, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you give us another example so people that know, let's say this is the first time investors and people that don't know this has probably been taken advantage of in some way because developers are always coming in. I notice, especially in Durham, they're buying several properties, several lots that are close to each other. I guess they have to make it make sense for them. And I would want to make it make sense for me. But if I'm selling it in particular, I would want to benefit off of that, especially if you're already at a disadvantage. You may not be getting the money. Some elderly people are selling their houses
Yeah.
to local
Yeah.
developers. They don't know. What is something that grandchild can say or negotiate? We have the royalties from that aspect. What is another simple way?
Again, I would say this because every transaction, every scenario, every situation is so unique. Every developer has different ways that they work. I would say consider talking to a real estate or wealth building attorney, a
Mhm.
title attorney, because they have to look at that particular situation. They have to look at that deed. They have to look at that area, that state, that zip code, that developer, that the possibilities, and tell you what you can do.
Gotcha.
And always ask for more. If they say this is what you can do, always ask for more in the sense of, is that all I can do? Or is there
Gotcha.
a way to leverage this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that as well. Always ask for more. I think my realtor, I guess it goes back to residential and also commercial property when you're negotiating too, whether you're leasing or buying, but we're talking about ownership now. So apply this to ownership. She encouraged me too. Even when I bought my house, she said, "Ask for more." She said, "All they can say is no,
All
yes or
they can
no. So
know.
go high." So that way you end up getting what you want. But if you go low, you're probably going to be the one that's going to end up losing out. All they can say is yes or no. And most of the time, they're willing to negotiate. My commercial property, they actually
Yeah,
gave me most of the things I asked for.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
So
That's
the power is
exactly.
in the ask. That's going to be
Yes,
our next. We're going to talk
yes.
about that. The power of the is in the ask.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you know, just kind of just to add a little more of an angle to this, um, even if you are a buyer,
Mm-hmm.
or even if you're in a situation where you have a contract with a builder, um, and you come across a roadblock, if you are considering buying a foreclosure,
Mm-hmm.
um, these lawyers that deal in the specific area can really help you. One, save you a lot of work, a lot of headache, a lot of money. So
Gotcha.
even if you have to pay a lawyer $1,000 before you make a move,
Mm.
or before you don't make a move, that can save you tens of thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
Because I've seen people, and I, you know, again, I am connected to a lot of lawyers, and so if anyone has questions, they can come to me directly, and I'll guide them the right way. Um, but you know, I've heard stories where someone saw a house, they came across a problem, maybe with
Mm.
the deed or some type of issue that they weren't sure of with the county or the city,
Yeah.
and they
A lien
spent
on the property,
something on
several
encroachment,
title people.
or you know, um, and they almost walked away from that property. But when they had a lawyer, someone on the legal side look at it and
Got
explain to them, hey, this is really not an issue, or this
Gotcha.
really is an issue.
Yeah, gotcha. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. That's a gem by itself. Thank you so much for sharing those gems with us today, June. We hate that the session is now over, you guys. I can't believe it at Hustle Hard Radio. We are now finishing this session. We hope if we could bring her back again to give us some more tips. It may be before the end of the year, you guys. So make sure you tune in on Saturdays at 8 p.m. June, share with them again your page where they can find you to get more information on these investment tips and your knowledge on properties, investment, and taxes.
Okay, yes, you can find me on Instagram, June Grace Simba-Jones, or Facebook, June Grace Simba-Jones, or email me at junes@equitysmartloans.com.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, June, for tuning in with us. The last moment we call on June, and June comes through, gives us several days that she's willing to work with us and share with our customers about investment property. So we thank you so much and about finances. She's helped me already so far, and hoping she can assist me even more. You guys, we want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors for Hustle Hard Radio. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us and being patient during this holiday season. We're doing a lot of things behind the scenes that hopefully can impact our community. So when we're not present, we're busy working for you so we can make sure we bring on more interviewees, more guests that are passionate about what they're doing in their industry, passionate about helping others, and we're passionate about making sure minorities or impoverished communities have information they need about finances, buying a car right, investing in properties, purchasing their first home, financing, establishing their credit, debt reconciliation, student loan. I mean, we could go on for days and days with things how we can help the community. But thank you guys for being here with us. Make Your Move LLC with Latrice. We thank you for being a part of the Hustle Hard family and supporting us. Auto House of Durham. Shout out to my brother Peston, allowing people to purchase their home. Not homes, he does do homes as well, but that is actually his car lot. Metropolitan Capital is a way that he helped individuals with first-time buyers in general. Rose Pest Control, we thank you, Tony, for sending other local businesses to us and helping people in commercial and residential properties resolve those pest needs that they may have. Exquisite Experience, we love you. We appreciate everything you're doing for the community, making sure we provide a clear and classy place for people to enjoy and celebrate Black
Yes.
excellence and then celebrate their business and things of that nature. J&J Professional, thank you so much. Contracting, being able to help Exquisite Experience and help those within the community stay on top of their housing needs and meeting those HOA requirements and keeping their homes and businesses up to par. Hair Therapy by Janae, we appreciate you so much for dealing with us in natural hair, making sure your girl stays beautified all the time, and the support that you're giving to our organization with Money Matters. Keep striving, Janae. You're doing great things in the community. We support you as well. To all of our new investors that's out within the community, a host of friends that I have, Anne Marie, Felisa Johnson, make sure you guys keep investing in yourself, investing in the community. You're doing great work with investing in properties, and we'll see you guys again on next week. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, people, money does matter, and to keep hustling hard.